to Alabama. You know what I mean? I was like, they really playing football over there. Even though they got beat that game, but I was a late comer too. Trust me.
Well, shoot, I feel like those things need to be said more often because
Hmm.
it's your generation, Dad, that always be complaining about people not knowing history, and I think at the end of the day, it's really just y'all think y'all are more important than you really are.
No,
Absolutely.
that's blasphemy. What he just said. Hey, no. I don't care what part of you in the Tampa area, Miami area. Where is it?
Tampa. Yep.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Yeah. So I don't know. Y'all got good football down there, so I can see if you were just looking at. So, would you want to really want to go when you think about it? Were you thinking like Miami? I know I can ask these later, but did you really think about Miami or Florida State or what was it?
Man, those were dreams. Like I wish they would have offered me. It was Florida International, Florida Atlantic, Bethune Cookman. The small Sunbelt conference at that time type schools. And then Bama came in late. So it was just that's why I played the way I played because it was a big opportunity. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Felt like, it was a slim chance that it happened and it did. So I had to take advantage of it. I think that kind of fueled me a little bit.
That's good stuff, man.
Yeah.
That's good stuff. Well, you made the best of it, that's for sure. So, but so Mike Shooter came down there and got you, huh? That what it was?
Yeah. He was the head coach. It was Unger, the special teams coach. Because
Oh
like I
yeah.
was telling your son, coincidentally that first game that I saw Bama ever play, Proto broke his leg, and it was after that game when Unger came down here and found me because he needed a punt returner. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, Coach Shula, I talked to him a couple times, but they didn't have to do much recruiting. I was coming.
Oh, that's funny. That's funny. Well, hey, I know. We'd have to bring that up too. Get his skills on what he was thinking about with that. So I guess we've only had one true returner on here, right? With Metcalf, Eric Metcalf.
Yep.
Do we have anybody else on here?
That
JT.
was a returner. Yeah, we had Galloway, or no, we didn't. We had Ishmael.
Mm.
Ishmael. This was
Rocket Ishmael.
Yeah,
Rocket. Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
he was nice.
Oh yeah. He was tight. Now you got me thinking. I was what track down Pro Throw too. Get him on. Shoot.
Yeah,
We need to have
absolutely.
a whole kick return episode. Have us a little clinic on here about.
It's worth it.
now did you do both? Did you do punt and kick return?
Yeah, like I wasn't fast like that. You gotta be fast to be an effective kick returner because you gotta hit it. I wanted to make everybody
Mhm.
miss, so I was more fit for returning punts.
So
Mhm.
so we had I gotta see if I can remember the question because we were talking about which one was more dangerous,
Mm.
punt return
Yes.
or kick return. Now, I think I was the only one on the show at the
For the
time
return.
that said that I thought punt returning was more dangerous. What do you think?
I think it's obvious
What
because
kick return?
no,
You run straight through? What do you mean? It's obvious. You get a fair
Ah,
catch. You get a fair catch. You get to wave people off.
yeah, but you
ain't
don't.
no such
You
thing.
get
Ain't no
to
such thing,
you
George.
get to wave people off
Yeah.
because you have to. You don't have. There's no reason to fair catch a kick return.
Yeah, and it's understanding all the perspectives. I get that if you're a gunner and you running down there, the chances that you time it up full speed and hit me as the ball simultaneously as I simultaneously catch the ball, it's slim odds, and I was willing to take those chances. That's why, to me, when no such thing as a fact, I can see. I'm looking up. I glance down, and then I look back up to catch the ball, so I know where you're coming from. I know how close you are. So if I absolutely need to make the decision, I will. Now they just make the decision. Like that's go fair catch it.
Well, then keep that in mind. I need to jot myself a note here
Yeah,
because
well,
now
I'm
that
gonna make a poll
and
during the
well
show.
now I have to. I want to bring it up to him when we go live. Though is really so. Think about it. Is now that they have where you can fair catch kickoffs.
That's crazy.
Does that change your Does that change your thought in any kind of way? Because now they don't even have to run the doggone kickoff back and catch it at the 5. You ain't even got to run. You just
You need to stop doing
fair
it.
catch it. And Huh?
I said we just need to stop doing it.
Yeah, but I don't see. I get that they don't want collision at that high speed, but
They running that fast on punt returns.
but George, they're not getting down there like that for you to be fair catching the football.
Yeah.
They're not in your face, like, So they already know it's a tough job for the punt returners. I think the fair catch is a privilege. I look if you don't think you can get it done on this one, if you think they're coming too fast, you can fair catch it. If you think they're too close, you can fair catch it. Nobody close on kickoff return.
To me, that's why kick return is not scary. I was fine doing kick return, but in high school, I wanted nothing to do with punt return because I saw somebody get smacked and swallow their mouthpiece.
Yeah, that's just at the beginning. That's just at the point of catch. But on kick return, everybody catching speed, and you're probably gonna collide at that speed. There's no really breaking down as much it is on punt return for the defenders.
Man, Javier, you selling them shirts? Is Justin Riley trying to?
Nah, it's these right here.
Yeah.
It's old. It's from a camp I had right after I got done playing, and I trained a lot of DBs now, so I just kind of wear it.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Look like somebody want to snag one. They snag it. That didn't mean pay for it anyway. When Justin say that, snag. He's slick. We know what code word is around here, man.
It's funny.
That means donate me one, send me one, whatever, Justin.
Justin, it's all yours, bro. I get you.
Mm-hmm.
What size you wear?
He gonna tell you small, but you need an extra large. He be doing all them deadlifts and all that kind of mess. He think
I got a large, bro. I see you a large.
He gonna cut the sleeves off anyway, try to show his muscles.
He said XL.
XL? I got that too. Okay.
Mm-hmm. See, okay. How much time we got?
We got 5 minutes. I mean, we got 5 minutes until we actually do the formalities of the show. But technically, we've already started because Justin's here already. So
I know people done got in. I didn't know when you were actually going to hit that button. So.
Well, he was telling the story about when he started really paying attention to Alabama football. So I was like, well, I might as well go ahead and start recording because we don't want to miss that.
No, that's true. And I missed some of that. But that's okay.
He said like Hulk Hogan.
What? He
was talking about you when you were saying that he was working out and doing deadlifts and whatnot. Now he comparing himself to Hulk Hogan.
Yeah.
See, you let it go to his head.
Oh man. You ain't watched? Have you really seen his personal videos? Have you been on his personal page and watch him doing his little lifts? He got them little kitty bumpers on there. He tried to paint them red and green and all that kind of stuff. Like he doing something.
Oh, he said he was talking about his cutoff sleeves. My bad.
Oh, good Lord, shoot. Yeah, he on there. You need to see him. You ain't really seen him. I know JT ain't on IG like that, but go check out the Justin Riley page where he be putting all his little deadlifts in there. Know his back be hurting when he get done too.
Man, what?
He put on one rep, then hit stop. I'm like, come on, man, give me a set of 5 or something.
I know, right? Hey, those days over for me. That Olympic lifting, I'm straight old school. Push-ups, sit-ups, I bench. But anything basically that has to be thought out in terms of a productive lift, like the RDL, single leg RDL, like
no thanks.
I ain't running. Like I'm good. I'm a bench. I'm gonna do the old school leg curls, to get the hamstrings and squat. You
ain't did the CrossFit or something like that?
Absolutely not. No, but George, I run I'm serious, but I run about 4 miles a day. That's the way that I get my energy out.
4 miles a day.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like broken up in the segments, like like all at one time. You do quarter mile, then
all at one time. And at first I had to kind of push myself to do it. I started when I was at Bama as an analyst. It felt good. It helped me relieve a lot of stress. But now I'm to the point to where I have to. When I got an opportunity, I got 30 minutes. I'm going to get it. And I challenge myself. I probably look crazy to some people because I'm like sprinting a good, not full speed, but like I'm really opening up and I'm really running. And at the end, I kind of close for the last half mile if I can, as fast as I can. If I'm competing with myself, you know what I mean? You kind of see it in my face. So it's my way to satisfy that side.
So how many minutes is that? Because even if you say 2 miles, I'm looking at 20 minutes. So 4 miles, how long that's taking you to?
4 miles taking me about like 29 minutes. It's
you rolling.
Yeah, kind of.
No, you rolling, cuz that's 7 minutes. What is that? 7.5 minute miles?
Yeah. I mean, I've been doing it for 2 years now. Like not every single day, but at least twice a week.
You sprinting the whole time. Talking about you just testing yourself at the last whatever.
when I was at Bama, Josh Chapman, he said, "Hey man, one of my friends told me they saw you, running on the quad or running around the quad, and they said, what's wrong with Ha? He's running full. He was sprinting, like because I was running like I'm kind of saying, but she thought it was funny, kind of. She knew me. She went to school when I went to school. We were friends when I played, so she knew the tenacity that I had. But I would imagine to the normal person, you driving down the street, and when you look over and you see a jogger, he's being very casual. You know what I mean? Or you got them long distance runners who just relax when they run. Like I'm getting it out there. You know what I mean?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Well, all right, man. Well, let's go ahead and get the Teague's Take for real.
All right. Well, let's roll intro.
All right. Man, we want to welcome everybody aboard the Teague's Take. If you were in for a little bit of earlier chat, man, you got in on a good one. We'll try to rehash some of that with our special guest that we got coming on here in a little while. But, man, I got something heavy on my heart. I just found something. I was looking at my Twitter feed right before I got on the show, and it kind of hit me really, really hard. We talk about a lot of the way our society is and all this kind of stuff. So right out here, I'm in McKinney, Texas. Allen, who – many people may have heard of because they got the big powerhouse football team over at Allen. So they got this little sub area close by there. It's called Plano or Murphy, Texas. And so there was this mom that literally just went off at a middle school girls basketball game, then punched the ref in the face, then punched a 14-year-old girl, a 13-year-old girl, boy, somebody in the face, kicked another one of the teenagers in the back. And this all has something to do with a jump ball. I'll tweet the doggone thing out. It was on news here. And man, I'm telling you, it's crazy. So this lady, someone lost a jump some kind of way and end up pushing two girls doing a jump ball. Throws the ball at the girl, punches her in the face, so they eject the girl from the game, which they're supposed to, right? Well, mama don't like that. The girl don't like that either. So girl gets tossed at the end of the game. The girl comes back with mom, and they proceed to whooping some people's ass. It's crazy. It's crazy. Yes. And this is where we're going to. And so I'm just trying to remind people that, I'm an athletic director. I work with people, and we hear all kind of stuff all the time about how coaches aren't doing right or officials or whatever. But when you have things like this, man, it really just sets me back a little bit and says, man, what are we doing? What are we doing? How can we get to the point where we just want to go punch the referee in the face? As an adult, go smack some little girls around because you're upset about something as simple as jump ball. Man, we're losing it, man. We're going crazy. I've been chalking a lot of this up to the pandemic and all this other kind of stuff, people with mental health issues and all the things that we have going on. But man, there's no reason for that. Man, you're at a public facility. You're at a middle school girl's name, and game, and something like this happens. So just, I really don't have no comment about it other than people tripping. People are tripping.
Don't be stupid, stupid.
Yes, they're tripping. Yeah, now I think she got 3 felony counts of something.
3 felonies?
I don't know, man. It's assault, something. You got to think this is a grown ass lady punching on some little kids and then smack the ref. I'll send you the thing here on the show just here in a minute so you can watch it, JT. I'll send it you to Javier. So I'm just asking people, man, just come back to grips a little bit. Sports are important. We're going to spend a lot of time talking about sports tonight. There are a lot of things going on. I see Justin already putting in about the Juwan Howard stuff. These are all unfortunate things that are starting to happen in the sports world, and we got to do better. We got to do better as fans. We got to do better as coaches. We got to do better as trainers, instructors, all this kind of stuff, and try to bring sports back to how it's supposed to be, developing people, their minds, and their spirit in a way that's positive and pleasing to people out in the community. So at this time, I want to go ahead and bring in, man, we got a very, very special guest here. So this guy played at Alabama 2006 through 2010. He's a cornerback, special teams extraordinaire, All-American, SEC champion. He was also a SEC Player of the Year, Special Teams Player of the Year, probably both of them, right? First team All-SEC. He did win a national championship by beating those Texas Longhorns. Thank you very much. We do appreciate that, too. He's a 6-year NFL veteran, second-round draft pick number 50 overall. Y'all give it up to Javier Arenas for coming on and joining me. JT, the analytical one. And I know I got you guys riled up real fast about this stuff. You know what? It makes you laugh, right? But
I shouldn't be laughing, but just I'm sure like if you're there, it's not funny. But hearing the recount of the story, just like who hits the ref? Or like for real?
Wait till you hear this referee story that I'm about to send you, because he actually talking about it, and she was a tough old lady because she busted him up pretty good. And
do y'all remember that wrestling match where somebody was filming the kids' wrestling match, and the mom jumped in and pulled, the other kid off her son who was getting whooped? To your point, we are losing it, I guess, and I try to put myself in their shoes sometimes. And like, if you see somebody on top of your kid, like, you want to go out there and do something, but you can't. It wasn't like, obviously, at least, up into my generation, parents weren't like that. But to your point, it's changed a lot.
But this ain't even someone jumping on your kid.
Right. We talking about a basketball game. She wasn't getting beat up. She lost the jump ball.
Yeah, this is crazy, man.
I know, but them just intervening in general, you know what I mean? Like, stay behind the fence.
Well, I just sent that for y'all to check out.
That's so wild to me.
The news clip. Yeah, so it is wild. But you know what? So let's. I didn't really have this on the sheet here, but let's go ahead and bring this up since Justin kind of talked about it. I don't know, Javier or Javi. What do you want me to call you? J.A. Javi. What do people call you, man? Javi. All right. That's because he got that money. You always change your name when you get that money. You get that money. Look how he drink his water. Got his pinky all.
That's my coffee cup.
But what about this? Did y'all see the Juwan Howard stuff? Did y'all see in the video clips?
Yeah, I saw the clip of what happened.
So all right, I know he got suspended for the remainder of the regular season. I think it accounts for what, 5 games or something of that nature. Is that enough? Should there's something else be done to him for smacking the other coach in the face?
Yeah. I think, these 5 games, I think, it's going to determine whether they get in the tournament or not. So, that's going to be hard to bear for him as well. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I guess I'm trying to say that is enough. You know what I mean? Because that's tough, man. I know he want to be there, but in this society, want to make sure you understand. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It's more than a slap on the wrist sometimes. But yeah, I think that's tough. Right?
Is it fair? Is it fair? And I'm only pointing this out because you got people on all spectrums. He should have been fired. It's classless. You're at Michigan. Whatever happened, okay, the guy, what did he do? Call timeout.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, he can't win the game, but he's doing whatever he thought was best for the team at that second. So does that warrant you a coach enough to be able to go? Yeah, and I don't know what everything was said,
right
over there, but I did see him try to lay the hands on the guy. So at that point, typically you're not seeing coaches lay hands on each other.
No doubt. But they were. I think the other coach, whoever it was, he took it kind of personal because he had his backup guys in the game, and the game was out of reach, obviously, for Michigan. And he, from a development standpoint for his back end guys, he was real mad about that. But to your point, that shouldn't be enough for either one of them to initiate anything. You know what I mean?
No, but did you see what Juwan did?
No,
I mean the actual play that really started.
No, I didn't see the play.
No, neither.
Well, see, as you were saying, so apparently Wisconsin was losing the game. They weren't going to win, right? And Michigan, so there's only 30 seconds left or whatever it is. Michigan is still pressing on the inbounds. So, like you said, they don't have their best guys in there. They're just trying to play or do whatever. He can't get the ball past the line of scrimmage in or half court in 10 seconds.
Yep.
So he calls timeout.
Oh, so he was supposed to call. I mean, that's just what you do.
He's not going to let him take the ball.
Yeah.
Right? So then you got to get the ball in. So he hot too. He hot like, come on, man. I mean, it's over. I'm trying to get up the court. Yeah, maybe I'll score another basket or whatever. I don't know.
Right.
So I'm looking at blame on both sides. No, we're not really talking about that, but when you start to see, and he's going, no, man, I'm trying to move the court up, and Juwan's doing his thing. He's playing basketball to the end, so he's going, well, how come I can't? Now you want to press? Well, now I'm going to get up the court. I got to go do something.
Yeah.
Blah, blah, blah.
Right.
So now we're getting the handshaking lane 30 seconds, and now we're heated about something that really shouldn't even be heated, not for now. Putting hands on each other, grabbing. Hey, I've been there, JT. I think so.
What do you mean? What do you mean you've been there? We saw it on national television.
No, I wasn't even talking about that one. I'm talking about coaching wise, where going through the handshake line at the end where I had a coach from an opposing team basically confront me. We were losing. My team was losing. We weren't going to stop, right? We weren't going to win the game, but it was still playing, and the coach starts to come to kind of question me, with, man, what are you doing? Really? The game is over. Why don't you kneel? And my question was, why don't you kneel? You already had the game won. You're still trying to throw the ball down the field, trying to score some points. So we're going to keep on playing, so it kind of got a little testy, and it was great that I had some coaches that, helped guide me out of the situation. We can go ahead and continue to get through it, but it didn't get to the point. Now I remembered it, but I wasn't from the swing on the dude, just because. So I don't know,
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think 5 games is probably enough. I mean, I don't think it's a fireable offense unless it's only, to me, it's only a fireable offense if that means a player needs to be kicked off the team for throwing a punch, which I don't think anybody would agree with either. I'm thinking about like when you remember when LeGarrette Blount punched that dude from Boise State after the game, and he was. I mean, I don't even know if he was suspended. Maybe he was suspended 1 game, but like I thought that was probably enough. So I think for the coach, 5 games is ample.
As long as you just don't hit. As long as it's not a female coach.
Well, yes, that's true.
Then you're out of there.
No doubt.
That's for sure. So I don't know. It is like you said. Does this
5
hurt?
games and a fine, a good fine, not a.
Not 200,000 to the athletic department.
Well, I mean, for him, 200,000. I don't know how much he makes as a basketball coach, but like.
No, I was saying to the athletic department. They probably ain't gonna find him. They're
the
athletic department, a couple $100,000 or something that they already wrote the check for. If they did it, I'm just saying.
Justin Riley said he was suspended. He hasn't. I think LeGarrette Blount was suspended until the postseason that year.
Yeah,
which
I always want everybody back right for the playoffs.
Yeah, well, I mean, again, the devil's in the details on how early or late that Boise State game was. You know, I don't know. That could have been their last game anyway. So he was suspended. You know, if your bowl game ain't for 3 weeks and you just suspended for those 3 weeks and you show up for the bowl game, I don't know. I have to look it up. But
so Javier, do you have any? I know you ran track, did some things, obviously football. Do you have any basketball skills?
Oh my goodness, man! Listen, I struggle.
Tell the truth.
I'm gonna tell you, because I'm a competitor. Put me on any field, and if I have some sort of a foundation for that sport, like just fundamentals, I'm decent. So, i.e., in basketball, I can play good defense in basketball. I can't shoot to save my life. I expose myself. I come in the gym and I'm dribbling. I got handles. I look good. Until I pull up the shoot, I look stiff as a rock, and everybody in the gym can tell. But I'm gonna go out there. I'm gonna play defense. I'm gonna pick the ball off. I'm gonna assist. But I can't. And so no, I'm not all over there. I'm not a natural, that's for sure. But I play at 5 a.m. on Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays at the YMCA, and
You play against them little kids? You play with them middle school
kids,
boys?
Man. These some middle-aged men who I think they wish they played in the NBA and they didn't. So this is the opportunity. Yeah, they had telling me how to play defense. I had to tell one cat, I was like, look, I do this. I got it. Because, no one knows you. This is pickup basketball. Mm-hmm. And I just started going about maybe a couple months ago. And I had a guy tell me, come on, man, like, I want to play defense. I'm like, yo, man, chill out. I got this. You know what I mean? And then I had to tell one guy, y'all take this a little too serious. Because I want to go in there and I just want to do my thing and not feel pressure. I don't go to the YMCA to play basketball and feel pressure from these cats. You know what I mean? Yeah, you know what I mean? So I've been doing that for a couple months. I've stopped recently because of what I just said, but I'm decent.
Okay. Well, didn't you play basketball for a little? When did you stop playing basketball?
I stopped playing basketball when I got to high school because it started during the off season for football and they were trying to make me choose. And I wasn't, I didn't think I was good enough to actually play basketball.
Yeah, you were pretty good in middle school.
Yeah. But I mean, once we got to Hebron, there was actually like some 6'10" dudes out there playing. Yeah. There were some real basketball players were playing. And I was like, yeah, this sport is not one that I'm going to excel very far in. Yeah. Especially only playing during the season and not having any off-season work because I know I wasn't going to do anything related to basketball after basketball season was over.
Well, you followed the page right out of your daddy's book too because as much as I like basketball, once I got to Jeff Davis in Montgomery, Alabama, trying to play with real basketball players just wasn't getting it. It didn't matter how high I could jump. I was like you, Javi. I could play some great defense. I was gonna box you out. That's why we became good defensive backs, man. You got to have good hips and all that kind of stuff. Be able to pivot and move and all that kind of stuff. But I was smart enough to let that go and go ahead and hit the track and hit football. I used to like to play baseball too. JT, you probably didn't even know that, but one thing I
figured since you had a charity softball event, I figured you at least had some form of attraction to baseball.
Well, and that's why I went to softball because I couldn't stand around the plate when in baseball because of the curve action and all that other kind of stuff.
Ball be moving too fast.
Oh man, and it'd be moving like side to side. So all right. Well, you know what? You kind of hit some stuff in it. For those who didn't hear the show, man, Javi, So tell us the story on how you got to Alabama, man. I thought that was really interesting.
Yeah.
Your journey there.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, you good.
I was just playing ball, and what I mean by that is I never expected to go to a place like Alabama, or any other college on that level. I was just having fun playing ball. I epitomized like be where your feet are, because I loved it. Nothing can happen after high school for me football wise, and um, I still would have played the same way and had the same love for the game. But I think being like that allowed me to go out there, obviously, and like just play to the best of my ability each and every day, because I practiced it like I loved it. And so I had a guy come watch me. He's a guy who I kind of grew up with. He's an older guy. He's always worked at the boys and girls clubs that I went to. Well, after being young and going to the Boys and Girls Club, obviously in high school now playing, he came to one of the games, and I made a couple good plays. And he saw me after the game, and he's like, man, you nice. He's like, I got a guy I want to introduce you to, basically. And it was Dave Unger, the special teams coach at Bama, and he would put me on the phone with him at first, and then Coach Unger came down to watch practice 1 week. And then after that, I guess he got Coach Schuler to offer me. But it all stemmed from, Proto hurting his leg, and them needing a punt returner because they came at the latter part of the season of my high school career when they first became interested. And Proto got hurt, I don't know, mid to late that year. And, so after the season, I think that's the reason why I went ultimately. I thought it was because I was a good DB. Had nothing to do with that. It was for my returnability. And that's kind of how it happened. It's funny kind of how things work out. But it was luck of the draw, man, to be honest with you, how I made it to Bama.
Hey, well, we're very glad that you were there. You're very exciting to watch. You're electric.
Well, yeah, I mean, you were my first or favorite defensive player early on, because I didn't like we were talking about before. I didn't know much before then, and when we went to that Independence Bowl in Shreveport in 2006, your play stood out to me, and I remember that as a teenager.
Yeah, I appreciate that, and coming from you, that means a lot. I'm just playing the game, and I love playing the game. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yes,
and it was like that every single snap. Like Coach Saban at the one game, at the Sugar Bowl game where we got beat by Utah real good, when we probably shouldn't have lost to them. After the game, I was in the locker room and somebody told me Coach Saban wanted to talk to me. And, mind you, we still in the locker room in New Orleans after the game. And I went in there, I'm like, what could this cat potentially want to talk about? And he was like, I think you should stay for another year. This was the end of my junior year. And I'm thinking, like, what this cat thought I was gonna go? And I'm serious. And he continued. He was like, I think I might have said that to him, George. Like, where'd you think I was gonna go? And then that's when he proceeded to say, well, I think you should stay in college for another year, before you enter the draft. And I had no idea that. I never thought about the NFL. I was out there playing ball. You know what I mean? That's kind of how I've always been. You know what I mean? I think that's why I played the way I played. I wasn't the fastest. I wasn't the tallest. Couldn't jump the highest. Had really no special abilities, but I think a lot came from within. Yeah, I was strong and stocky. I was blessed with good genes from my dad. You know what I mean? But besides that, I wasn't supposed to make it. You know what I mean? And playing the game that way, that I think that's what helped me out a lot. And I say that because that's not the case so much anymore. You know what I mean? For a lot of these players.
Well, we got a question for you from Justin. He asked, how much did working with Saban elevate your game as a DB?
It made me the player that I was, because he don't have a secret sauce, but it's the repetition of the fundamentals, and that's how I made it, to the NFL. I never did no special workouts. Just the things that I do in the game, the movements that I make as a DB, I constantly constantly worked on. And that's kind of what I got from him. Like his 2-line drill that we do at practice to this day. And even during the off season, I always made sure I did that. If I can master these, 45-degree break downhill, 90-degree after you open up and you zone turn and, break 90 degrees out, a speed turn, like the post or the 7 concept, whichever one, and that's going to happen, in coverage. You know what I mean? So if I'm working on those little things constantly, I give myself the best chance to be a good football player. So I think that's what I took from him. And then he coaching with him, he was like that as a coach. He don't do nothing special to have all that success, but spend more time than everybody else. You know what I mean? Yeah, he's smarter. You got to be smarter to be that good of a coach. But like being with him as a coach for those 4 years, I was like, it ain't nothing. It's just he's routine. The same things he did, since he got to Alabama, he was still doing when I came back to coach, and that's helped me so much as a trainer or a coach for that matter, because I work with a lot of kids. Just be consistent in everything that you do and believe in what you're doing. So I know I'm prolonging the answer, but it helped. It helped me out a lot. That's what I kind of took from him, was just work. It ain't nothing special. You ain't got to go pay nobody to show you because they the ones that could get you to. No, it's just the fundamentals. Whatever it is that, if you want to become a better piano player, whatever the fundamentals are in piano, just make sure you kind of you work on those consistently.
Mm-hmm. Well, let me remind you that we're thankful to have you on the show, and whatever you got to say, you say. Don't worry about time or whatever it is. That's why we wanted you on here, to be able to speak your truth, your mind, your jokes, whatever it is. You shoot it, because that's what we try to do on this show. All right. So if that means interrupting sometime, you make sure that you do that
for sure
as well to make your point. It's not we ain't that stiff. This is family talk round the table. All right.
I can tell you, sir.
Mm-hmm. So, but you did kind of hit on something. You were talking about defensive back play, and I appreciate you talking about some technical things regarding that. And, the rules have probably even changed a little bit since the time you've been playing, the way defensive backs have to play or things that they can't do. So, do you think today's football is taken away, I'm going to say, from the art of defensive backs, or are we just letting defensive backs off the hook because we're allowing them to, accept the PI penalties and the legal hands to the face and all this kind of stuff? What do you think?
Well, I think the way that the game played should speak more to the art of the defensive back, because it's way more throwing, 5 wides. So you challenge more, you know what I mean? And we can't be as physical. I guess it's never really changed in terms of if they're gonna call a PI flag or not. They've been consistent in that, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But you gotta be a better DB to me, you know what I mean? Than each and every year, they get better. Like these kids, like my daughter at 9, she's a lot smarter than I am. It's just what it is, you know what I mean? That's why as we get older, as like technology evolve, I think these athletes are going to look at LeBron James, like, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. I think that has a lot to do with it, but I think it speaks to the art, because you got to cover a lot more. Look at them receivers we had at Bama, like all 4 of them. I've never played against a team that they had in college, I should say, that all 4 of the receivers was like number 1 receivers when we had Judy, we had Ruggs, you know what I mean? So I think it speaks more to, you got to be good. You got to have nice hips. You got to be consistent in that if you want to have some type of success today. And I'm not saying the game's harder now than it was for you or for me, for that matter, because I'm getting up there too. I slowly but surely climbing the age. I'm serious. It speaks to the art. You gotta be nice to be out there, basically, is what I'm trying to say.
Man, you got to be nice mentally too, because being out there on that island is a whole lot different.
Yeah, especially when you're the one getting picked on.
Oh gosh.
That was the biggest difference, George. You know this too. In from college to the league, getting picked on. If they see you struggling, they ain't going nowhere else until you can knock the ball down. And I'm like, give me a break. This one all the time. Don't get it twisted. So I have my struggles. I'm like, yo, and they gonna look at you before the play, give a head nod to the guy.
Ain't that the worst when you see the quarterback look over there? You're like, oh, they up to something. And you think you smarter than me, like, oh, here come that slant. No.
That's so funny. Hey, when we were playing Peyton Manning, when he was in Denver, I was starting at this time. I started at corner and at nickel my last year in Kansas City. And they backed up. I got Demaryius Thomas at receiver. They had some sort of like 11 personnel with 2 tight ends and 2 receivers, or some pro formation where they had a tight end and a fullback, but just 2 receivers. And Peyton was under the center, and I'm up there on Demaryius, and he, Peyton ain't calling the play till he see, right? And so he looks at Demaryius and gives him a head nod, and I put 2 and 2 together. All right, they backed up. I'm impressed, and he just gave him a head nod. I'm gonna go ahead and get off, all right? In case y'all want to throw this thing deep, which I know he was going at. And then he eased when I backed off. And so I went back up, because I know he's changing it back to a now pass, where he's going to pick it up and throw it right now. If I'm off, he's throwing it right now. If I'm up, he's going deep. That's the only thing he want to do against me, because the size difference. And so I got to the point, so I kind of just sat there and in the side shuffle, getting ready to side shuffle about 5 yards, just in case. Whatever you do, I'm on it. You know what I mean? You throw it now pass, I'm going right now 5 yards away. If you take off and run a go route, I'm ready to run with you. You know what I'm saying? And he threw the now pass, and I hit him. I hit the cat, Demaryius, as soon as he caught the ball, and it was an incomplete pass. But that's what we're talking about. Like, he's just sitting there like, I know what you're doing. Like,
and is that not the best feeling in the world, though? When you got him like that, you're like, oh, no, I'm in tune.
Yeah,
what's happening.
I didn't have that as much as you in the NFL, but yeah, when it did, absolutely.
Well, I can say I've been on both ends, regardless of how my career may have looked to people. Where it happened in college, where I knew when I realized that I was being the guy that's being picked on. It was in the Florida game my junior year. We got beat 35-6 down there in Gatorland, and I couldn't tackle nobody. I couldn't cover nobody. It was just a bad, awful game, and they knew I was having a bad one, so they was running to my side, throwing to my side, whatever, and I was just distraught. And then it happened in the league one time when I was with the Cowboys and with the Giants, and I couldn't get out of that funk. Worst doggone feeling in the world, especially in the pros, when you know they're like you said, they ain't for to let up. They just they find any matchup they can find, and Coach kind of looking at me. He feeling bad for me, but he ain't taking me out. He ain't taking me out. He be like, hey, man, what's going on? I'm like, man, I don't know. All I can do is apologize at the end of the game. Like, man, I promise that is never, ever going to happen again.
No doubt, man.
So
we've got another viewer question. Who from the wide receiver core you're with at Bama challenged you the most? Mike McCoy was intense. Marquise Mays was electric.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Julio, obviously. I never turned when they threw a deep ball to Julio. I never turned to look back for the ball. I need to know where he at all times. But at the same time, I made a lot of plays on him in practice, which is why I think I was a decent DB. Became a decent DB at Bama. I wait for him to catch it, and the minute he caught it, I'm busting it. You know what I mean? You could get away with that a lot more in college. But in the league, not so much. But Julio by far. And then credit to those other guys. Mays was tough in the slot, but again, I keep it simple. He, as quick as he is, as good as he is, if I sit here and put my hands on him, he's limited. Hanks as well. He was a good shifty little receiver, and Mike as well. I was roommates with Mike, so I had his number. I knew he was gonna break. I knew everything.
Man. So why don't you dive into that a little bit more? Because me and JT did a segment once about when to look, when not to look. What is Coach Saban actually teaching now? Maybe the philosophy's changed on the whole, looking lean concept versus I don't even know what you call the other one, like you said, where you don't look back at all. Just play their hands.
Right.
So what is Coach's philosophy on that, and how do you feel about it?
That's a good question, George. And to my point, what I said when I was talking about how he's still, because nothing's changed in his teaching. He teaches from the line of scrimmage until maybe 15 to 17 yards downfield. If the receiver looks back for the ball, if he releases outside and look back for the ball, again, from the line of scrimmage to 15 to 17 yards down the field, you turn into him and play him. Because that's the back shoulder region. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And if you turn around inside looking for the ball, he can create like width separation to that, what I'm talking about, mm-hmm. to the outside. Right. With that back shoulder throw. So that's why you turn into him. So if he does lean away for back shoulder, you could just play, and play the ball. But when he get through that move area again, I'm pretty sure it's 15 to 17. If it ain't that, it's 16 to 18 yards down the field. That's when you look back for the ball, because the back shoulder don't exist no more for nobody but Aaron Rodgers. He don't even 20-yard back shoulder throw. But I tell kids when I teach them, I'm like, it's true most of the time. Like you can bet on that and have success. But it's a lot of different things. Well, I don't want them to think too deep and be trying to count 15 to 17 yards down the field. Yeah. If you feel we do that, we rep that drill enough that they feel now. If I turn around inside, I think this is the point that I should turn around inside. And if they don't, they don't. They still play in a position the right way. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So yeah, but that's how he's always taught it, and that's helped me. But even though he taught it when I was there, I wouldn't turn around when I was playing Julio. Again, I need to know exactly where he is.
So what do you think, though, about now with all the – I think they're – JT, I don't know. I think they're intentional underthrown balls.
They are intentionally underthrown balls.
So, when you get into this concept about it, even if it's deep, because now you're wanting to look, but you lose total – I don't know. I think it's just harder to react to an under. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. It just felt like it was always harder to react back once you start to look and lean, for the ball. Do y'all feel that way or no? Go past the 16, 18 or 15 to 17 yard mark where they're.
Yeah, I mean, I do. I mean, you got your back to the guy, right? You're trying to find the ball. You're looking up, and you're in phase, but you're still like half a step behind the dude, right? So if the receiver knows the ball's coming, and he stops a half step before you do, and you impede his progress to coming back to the ball, they're throwing a flag, and it's just how it is. And I think minus the Cowboys, which I won't get on that soapbox.
Sure, go ahead.
A lot of quarterbacks and a lot of offenses have that play in their book where they're just like, all right, it's 3rd and 27. We're probably not going to hit a 30-yard bomb, but if we just throw it short and just hope for a pass interference, then we can get a spot foul and a first down.
Yep, I agree. I think if you pass, say, 16, 17 yards and you just peek back and see where the ball is. If it's underthrown, you ain't got to go all the way back there and overrun the ball. You just go get it. You know what I mean? I know it's saying a lot.
That's your return skills. Everybody ain't got all that. That's your ball skills trying to locate the ball when it's up in the air.
See ball, get ball, man.
I don't know. It just seems like, so because we're kind of having that debate on, and ultimately I thought you need to be able to do both, right? And there are areas that that, hey, I think a coach can put a guy in position, as you said, to say, and maybe even changes by game. When do they really throw the back shoulder fades? At what yards, what area of the field? People always expect it in the red zone, but how they throw it anywhere now. If it's an open field and just trying to get a first down, 10 yards down, they just throw it behind them a little bit, right? So I think that has to come from film watching and then you trying to tell the defensive back, hey, in this scenario, these stages against this quarterback,
100%.
You got to be alert for that. So don't turn or look. I don't know. It just seemed like, and I don't know if it seemed like to me, and JT, you can kind of tell me if I'm wrong. It seemed like we were always talking about the DBs currently at Alabama, never ever looking back for the ball at any point in time. It just seemed like they weren't doing it. And it was getting a little bit frustrating because I felt like some of them could have been picks. But maybe not.
Well, yeah, I think there was. I know we did have those conversations, and I think there was a few guys, where we thought that they never turned around. I won't say his name, but there
I think
was.
I know who you're talking about, but I got you.
There's one that wore a similar number to our guest that was always good for one.
I'll say as much as you talked about it, maybe that was offline all the time, but you called his name on many other shows.
No, there was another guy that I probably did disrespect that I shouldn't have, but we worked through it. I apologized. So there's that, but
I just think it's a tough deal trying to do that.
Mm-hmm.
So tell us about this return stuff. We were having this small chatter. I won't even call it a debate because it wasn't a debate. On which one's harder to do? Kickoff return, punt return for the return man, and then dive into this doggone rule about fair catch and kickoff returns now that I absolutely hate. But whatever.
I think obviously punt return is harder.
There you go. This obviously again.
Well, I ain't never seen nobody catch a kickoff and get smacked unless they didn't fair catch a sky kick. You know what I mean?
But your angles are different. You just said that you had to, as a punt returner, you're going to make guys miss. You can jive. Kickoffs, you running up in there. You know you about to get blasted. One guy missed a block.
Yeah, but they fast. They running away from guys, and if the seam ain't there, a lot of these guys, they
what?
I'm saying your point as I talk. I'm saying your point more clear as I talk now, but I just think that again, you waiting for a punt to come down there. You're not. A lot of guys not looking at the defenders. You kick off. You got plenty of space. You got plenty of time, and I don't know.
Now you got to be a daredevil on kickoff that you got a small little window, and there's that linebacker coming down there, or maybe a defensive end.
Yeah.
Okay. Look, so I'm gonna give you two scenarios, and then I'm gonna give you the actual point. Getting hit, looking up at a ball because you didn't fair catch, versus getting hit running full speed at somebody else.
How hard is it to fair catch? If you're about to get hit.
See, that's the thing, though. Sometimes you don't know. But here's what I'm saying.
What you supposed to know? You gotta look.
Here's what I'm saying.
You look down. You look up. You look down.
Yeah. Well, see, I did that one time, and I looked down at the wrong second. Ball hit me in the face, and I got hit anyway.
Well,
so
that's talent. That's lack of talent. Whatever.
So I'm just saying, I've never heard of a running back being afraid of trying to hit a hole, but I've heard of many a receiver being afraid of running across the middle catching a ball. Why is that? Because you are terrified of getting hit when you don't see it coming.
So is there a difference since you brought up the running backs? This is a good one. Is there a difference in a mindset of a running back on a toss sweep versus a power run?
Yes, ask Reggie Bush.
Okay, and so kickoff returners are like downhill runners to me, and the returners are like the sweep guys.
Yeah, and I'm saying the hardest hit.
Harder that you got to go up in there inside than you do on a sweep.
The hardest hit Reggie Bush ever took was when he was playing the Eagles and he took that toss pass and got hit in his stomach.
Well, that was a swing pass. That wasn't even a sweep. Wasn't that a flare pass or something?
Yeah, it was.
But the point remains, he didn't see that coming. He got hit in the stomach and he crawled off the field.
That's the quarterback's fault, though. He should have went right back to the huddle and just smacked it. I don't know who the quarterback was, but he should have just took one.
I think also, when you're running down on kickoff and you see a backer coming full speed, you can lessen the impact.
Yeah,
they're trying to catch the ball. You don't got no choice.
But you give me but what you guys are missing is the split-second decisions you got to make, whether you're going to fair catch the ball or not, versus actually running the ball and getting that full speed collision. You guys are getting to, I got to catch the ball. I might get hit right here.
Hey,
to me, that don't make it harder.
Or you may call a fair catch and get hit anyway.
True.
Yeah.
The question that I had asked originally was which one was more dangerous.
Okay. Dangerous. Yeah. All right. I got you. Which I think is kickoff return. Y'all ain't ready to prove that to me. Because you can call fair catch.
You can, but it don't matter. You know, but the reason there's a reason. You can call
it early. You can punk out and just say, he punted it. There we go. I'm done. I just got to catch the ball.
But I'm saying the advent of fair catch in punt return is there because it's more dangerous. The whole reason that the fair catch was even a thing is because you couldn't have guys just getting smacked out here defenseless.
Well, why then would they try to get rid of kickoff return and not punt returns?
The kickoff return, the fair catch on the kickoff return was not.
Javi's hair blowing up over here now.
The fair catch on the kickoff return is not to save the returner. It's to save the people up front that's blocking for you that keep getting concussions.
They're blocking.
That wedge.
Yes, it's the wedge.
Well, we got rid of the wedge. Now you can't even do it.
Yeah, but two offensive, two people can be hand in hand. Can't hold hands.
You can't hold hands.
Yeah. You got a good point. I mean,
I don't like them fair catching anyway. Just so I can say that. I think it's just.
Yeah, so Justin Riley said, ask Leonard Fournette after Reuben Foster tagged him. They did. Leonard Fournette said that it was a big hit, but it actually didn't hurt that bad, which is exactly my point.
It's Leonard Fournette, man. That dude built like a brick house, bro. No question. Yeah, you can hit him anyway. They aren't blocking. That's right. Oh, I did say 8 out there. So, yeah, we appreciate Realism Sports Talk coming on in. Make sure y'all listen to his podcast. He just dropped one. I was on with him a little bit earlier tonight. From 6 to 7. Y'all go ahead and check out his YouTube page and listen to that because we did talk about a lot of different things. So, again, we're here. We're going live with old man Javier. I was able to see him, JT, running into him at a Bama function up here in, where were we? Grapevine, I think.
Oh.
Is that right? I think we're at Gateway. He don't know. He was flying.
Yeah,
in.
Absolutely.
But we were in Grapevine. It was what was it? It wasn't a watch party. It was just a fan in Alabama.
Just gathering, huh?
Man, gathering. Kind of the chapter kind of thing where all the alumni people come back together, raise a little bit of money for charity, have a good time, and all that kind of stuff. So I got to see. Javier was up in the house, and I think Sherman Williams was there. I don't know if we had any other players there, but it was really cool just to be able to see him and hang out and meet him. Because when you see it, we get to see you on TV and watch you play and be in awe because of what you did in all aspects. Being a special teams player extraordinaire like you, returning kicks and all that stuff. I know how hard that is. As much as I'm talking about. The punt returns and the kickoff returns. What you did is absolutely amazing. And then, try to turn around and play defensive back, in the league, having 6 years worth of – you played 6 years, right, in the league? Is that right? To get a great NFL career and, it's just amazing. Man, we don't take that for granted, because it takes a lot of skill for you to be able to do that. And now you're giving back. So you mentioned something about coaching before you get into the training stuff. You're an analyst. Are you wanting to go down this coaching role? You're trying to get into college ball, pro ball, what?
Yeah, I was, for the 4 years that I was at Alabama. And, maybe it was just because it was Bama, but it took a toll on my family just in terms of me not being there, even though they were in the same city, but just the hours that it takes. And after 4 years, I decided to just move back home down here to Tampa. And, I've learned enough in those 4 years. So those 4 years were not a waste. Train kids down here, bring that Alabama defensive back play, or at least the way that it's taught down here to my city. Because, football, I think what you meant to say earlier, George, was it's a lot of talent down here, and I think you might have said that, but I thought you said that it's good football down here. It's a lot of good talent, because some of these cats are just raw and not being taught the right way. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Especially from a defensive back perspective. So, and I know that sounds like a spiel, for my business, but it's the truth, And so I figure I come down here and do my own thing, and be allowed to spend more time with my family, and it's been awesome, so far. I coach with this 7-on-7 team. It's called Team Tampa. Both of our corners are committed to Bama.
Nice.
Yeah, man. So and I get to coach. I get to call the plays out there and do my thing, man. And so I get the best of both worlds. I get to spend time with my family, and I get to impact young kids' lives, to be quite frank. Because I'm not just Xing and owing them to death. I'm like how good coaches were, and coaches are still good, but them old school coaches that you had, and for that matter, I was lucky to have in Coach Saban, the life skills that you get out of it. I'm gonna be tough on you when you come out here, because ain't nobody else gonna be tough on you. You know what I mean? I'm gonna challenge you. I'm gonna hold you accountable, and I'm gonna teach you. You know what I mean? So I get to do that. I get to give back. That's all I've ever wanted to do. And it was more than that. Trying to coach in college and in the pros. You know what I mean? It's way more than that. Yeah, you gotta be a good coach. You gotta help, but it's just more than that.
How do people find your business or something? Do you got a website? Is it on something? Why don't you tell everybody, just in case they're down there in this area and they got some kids they want to get trained up, be a great DB, how they find you?
Yeah, absolutely. On Instagram primarily, and my Instagram handle is Javier Arenas 28. I got all my work that I do on there, and you can see what you get if you do come and give me the opportunity to help make you or your kids better.
All right, that's good stuff. There's a myth. Is there a myth? I think there's a myth about the way defensive back play. I shouldn't even say a myth. I think it's true, because I talk to Mario Edwards about it all the time. That the guys in Florida seem like they just play man to man all the time. Like there isn't a whole lot of teaching. That's your man. Take him and use your athletic ability, and that's it. That's the only thing I really seen of taking out of people, defensive backs from Florida. What am I wrong about that? Are you being a revolutionary person here and changing that, or what's the deal?
But yeah, you're exactly right, and that's part of it as well. Just meeting these kids halfway when you're trying to teach them, when you're trying to coach them. And Coach Saban met us halfway. He met me halfway as well. Well, at least, excuse me. I'm sorry. Because what I mean by that is, like, I wasn't playing man every snap at Bama. I had help. We'd be playing bracket. I have an inside. So I'm about to kick. You ain't releasing outside today. I'm going to look a lot more aggressive, just because I know you only got one way to go. You know what I mean? And, understanding, how that helped me play more aggressive and be a better and more confident player. I'm like, if that helped me, I know this is what I need to be doing to get these young cats to play for me. You know what I mean? And so that's what I'm trying to do. That's why I even do out there at Team Tampa. Look, we only practice one time a week, and I got to go out there and I got to try to put bracket in, just because. And I know I don't seem crazy to anybody out there, because it's a lot of good coaches out there who understands, you know what I mean? Like the guy who runs the team, Coach Saban, got a good relationship with him. When I was working there, he would bring these same Team Tampa kids up there. So they seeing that I really love and understand this game. But even though I don't have much time with those kids once a week, I'm still trying to teach these things. I ain't about to just go out here and use that I have no time as an excuse to put y'all in cover one the whole time. I'm going to try to teach y'all some football, the 45 minutes that I have y'all. And it's working out real well. You know what I mean? Like, I feel more like a coach now than I felt at Bama in 4 years as my analyst, as an analyst, excuse me.
Nice. Well, I'm glad you found your niche and different things. We'd love to see you get back, because we feel like there's still some work that needs to happen in the Bama secondary. So maybe hopefully your guys can come in and and help solidify that back end up, because we got to do some work back there in that secondary at Bama. That's for sure. Mm-hmm.
Well, that means he's sending guys to Bama that's already going to be top right. So there you go.
That's right. That's right. Did we hire a new Bama coach, secondary coach?
Yes.
Yep.
Did we just do it?
Yes.
I didn't even really look at his deal. Anybody, you know anything about him? Where he came from? Who is it?
I did, but I don't remember now.
He came from Miami, I believe. Man, T-Rob is his name, and I say man because I'm not trying to be disrespectful. I don't want to mess it up. I'm pretty sure they call him T-Rob, and I heard a lot of good things about him. That's about it,
Okay.
Never met him or anything.
All right.
Travaris Robinson.
Mm-hmm.
He's with the Hurricanes or the Dolphins?
Hurricanes.
He was with the Hurricanes. Right. He was with South Carolina before, and he played at Auburn.
What's that all about?
Yeah, I know. Yeah. Oh, you hear us? Really? You know what's going to happen if they start getting torched. He's going to get killed by our fans right there.
Oh, my goodness.
But no, that's good. They have two DB coaches or not? Or is Saban considered the second defensive back coach?
And Coach Saban, the defensive back coach, safeties and corners. I'm being for real. And they got a safeties coach and they have a corners coach, but Coach Saban is the coach, the secondary coach.
Yeah, I know how hands-on he is in that position. I didn't really know if he just kind of had some people helping him while he go do other things. And
yeah,
but that's what it seems like. That's kind of his position, and he's the head coach. But I don't know. It's good to be able to have a love for that. It's good to be able to have a head coach that takes in that, especially when you're a defensive back. So why do you think people don't want to play defensive back? How come you go to all these camps and everybody want to be a wide receiver? There'd be 100 wide receivers, 8 DBs.
Because ain't nobody trying to get torched.
Ultimately, yeah, he's exactly right. Because they throw the ball so much, it's easier to catch the ball and run with it than it is to, learn how to be a good cover guy. You know what I mean? And you get the notoriety when you're on offense. The good guys, the real athletes, know how to get the notoriety from playing defense. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Amen. Now you're talking because I did try to reach out back to a lady named Denise JT that we had to kind of talk about brain injuries and all that kind of stuff. I don't know if you remember her, because I really would like to know the mindset you got to have to be successful at certain positions. I know we all got to be, we're all saying the same thing. You got to be tough. You got to be fast or good hips in this position. Maybe not so much about this, but really, what is that ingredient that a defensive back has to have at the highest level that may be different from someone else for people not to really want to do it? Like you're saying, wide receivers want to have glory or catch the ball or whatever, score the touchdowns. But what is the makeup that a defensive back really has to have to say, yeah, I want to do that? I want to be out there on the island by myself. I'm ready for that. I don't know.
I think it's just that competitive personality. I think personally, of course you got to have good hips, you got to have good feet. But if you're willing to go out there and compete every time, and what I mean by that is if somebody compete and they get their butt whooped one play, they're gonna come back and they're gonna strain their gut just as much as they did that first play. And that's how they're gonna be the whole time. I think that's an ingredient that you got to have.
Mm-hmm. Never giving up.
Short-term memories too.
You definitely can't have it. You got to let it go, right? Or you're gonna be dead in the water if someone hang one on you or they send you deep about 3 times and you gassed and they know they ain't taking you out. So
they're like, you against the world.
They ain't taking you out. They subbing. Okay.
Also, quick shout out to Stephen M. Smith because he wrote the article that I was able to find that information about Travaris Robinson that quickly. So good job on Stephen M. Smith and Touchdown Alabama Mag for getting their SEO in order to get it at the top of the Google search.
Yes, sir. They're nice. They do a great job. They really do. Okay, so I just want to ask you about this, Javier, because I know we only got a few more minutes left, or a couple more minutes left with you. Overtime rules in football, pro football. All the stuff that happened. What was that? Was that in the AFC Championship? The Buffalo Bills and the Chiefs. What needs to change? What do we?
You are now the commissioner and ruler of the competition committee. What do you do, if anything, to change the NFL overtime rules?
Let them play. They let them play it out. Well, they might be. I can't say that. Let me think. Let me be a little more thoughtful, because them two could have went for a long time if you just play to somebody get to stop. So I guess what I'm trying to say is, I think they pretty fair right now. If you score a touchdown, you win. Don't let them in. Hold bend but don't break. Hold them to 3. And then if you hold them to 3 and you come back and you score a touchdown, you win. Your defense played better, and that's in this series than their defense. You know what I mean? So, and they trying to get the game over. They don't want these people to continue to hit each other. You know what I mean? I think.
See, that's what they're saying. But JT's gonna give his data now. I told you he was the analytical one in the data, and he's gonna tell you that.
Yeah, so I'll give it to you.
11 out of something.
Yeah, there have been 11 postseason overtime games.
Mm-hmm.
The team that has won the coin toss has won 10 of them.
Mm-hmm.
The team that lost was the New Orleans Saints on that pass interference no call. So a lot of people kind of just throw that one out. It was like, well, the Saints were about to win that game until dude got blasted on the sideline. So my point on changing it is that essentially what those numbers tell you is that whoever wins the coin toss wins the game.
Yeah, that's a good point.
So we had
he's just saying just flip the coin and call it. You won. All right, we're done.
Yeah.
It's over.
Right. but did I say that right? Did I say that right though? So me and you playing against each other. I won the coin toss. I go down there. You hold me to 3. You get the ball, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And if he goes score, he wins, right?
That's true.
Well, if defense ain't been showing up I think the winner's been winning. Long story short.
He's saying, but you don't even. But what if? But so go to the other point. If I don't stop you, maybe that's it. You score.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even get a chance.
Oh yeah.
I think that's the deal.
Yeah. So for me, and especially in that Chiefs game, it was kind of like, look, as we're watching the game, we're like, all right, it's Pat Mahomes and Josh Allen, and at the end of the game, like Josh Allen and whoever that other receiver was that had 4 touchdowns, they couldn't stop that dude either.
Gabriel Davis.
Yeah, Gabriel Davis. And if the Bills win the coin toss, I think the Chiefs lose.
But I think that's kind of luck, right? Because that Chiefs Bills games, how many overtimes did it go?
1. It was 1 drive.
1 drive. The Chiefs got the ball.
See, you know what? I'm thinking about the end of the game because it was crazy.
At the end of the game, they were going back and forth, right? And then the Chiefs didn't score at the end of the Chiefs kicked the field goal at the end of the game to tie it, I think, and then they flipped a coin. The Chiefs got the ball back.
That's right.
And they scored a touchdown, and they said, "All right, game's over. Go home."
I completely understand what you're saying, and the statistics speak for themselves.
So I don't even remember what we came up with. We had all kind of
we had some crazy ideas. Some probably less serious than others. The one that I had come with was just play another quarter. Like just play a 5th quarter. When time runs out, if it's tied, if you're in the middle of a drive, you keep going. You play it just like going from the first quarter to the second quarter, and you play that quarter. Maybe if you want to cut the quarter in half, fine. But I didn't like the sudden death aspect in the playoffs. If you want to do that for the regular season, by all means, I don't care.
Well, one of the better ones he said, Javi, was basically you win the coin toss and you get the ball. You get to spot the ball, and then the other person gets to decide whether or not they want to be on offense or defense. So you can say, hey, we're going to put the ball on them. -1.
Mm-hmm.
So you're going to need a 99-yard drive. So then another person going to say, well, I want to play defense or I'm going to play offense.
And if you score, you win. So then it just comes down to that. And that was actually proposed by the Baltimore Ravens
Was it really?
Yeah, that was one of the things that the Ravens said. And they had another one where you get to bid. So before the game, you show up before the game when you're doing that coin toss, and you say, if it goes into overtime, we want the ball at the 25, the minus 25. And if the other team says, well, we want the ball at the minus 20, they get the ball because they had more confidence in their offense to go score. And you can, but you have to decide that before the game starts.
I think that's deep.
Well, here's the best thing, maybe, is now that the XFL has said they've officially partnered with the NFL to try to get some of these rules in, I wonder if they're going to try to do something with the way overtime is or any other phase of the game to try to make this work.
Yeah.
I don't know. I know a lot of it's going to be technology and all that kind of stuff, but rules, if they can. Wouldn't that be fun in an XFL game? If you do that, go to overtime. Now they start doing some of this crazy stuff.
Yeah, just change it up every week. You never know. You just got to tune in to see.
You have to have all the scenarios. We got 8 different scenarios.
I know. I got it. I think I got it.
All right.
I think in the regulation, if it's tied, you basically have look. Just bear with me, but a 2-point conversion shootout, basically. You know what I mean? It appease people in terms of limiting concussions. You playing within tight quarters. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And listen, I did the 2-point plays for Coach Saban for 2 years. So each week, whoever we playing, I got to go look up the coach's history of 2-point plays and present them to him on Thursday. And so I'm like really into 2-point plays. You got to do it. A lot go into it. The playbook is completely different. It's length opposed to width in terms of routes that you're running. You know what I'm saying? You got to beat a guy from side to side opposed to you can rub a lot better. And from a defensive perspective, George, you run coverages down there that you obviously don't run in the middle of the field. You know what I mean? It's a different game to me. It's a different part of the game is what I mean to say. And it made coaches really get in their bag and not have send these players out there for another quarter like Warriors beating each other up.
So what's wrong? I agree with that. And so now the way they have the NCAA rules is that you get to those 2-point plays after the third possession. Yeah, I think it's the third.
I think it's at the third.
After the second.
Yeah, after the second, at the third.
So you can get to it pretty fast.
Yes.
So what's wrong with adopting the NCAA rules?
To me, is nothing wrong with it. And that happened when we played against Texas A&M. I was there as an analyst. It was a real fun game, primarily because of that at the end. I don't know if you guys remember, but it was like 3 overtimes. We were in A&M, and that we went into them with, and like it was the 2-point plays came into play at that point. You know what I mean? And that's why Coach Saban's so good. Every week we designate a time during the day and staff meeting to 2-point plays. We put it in the script at practice, for 2-point plays, and for those situations right there. So, Coach Saban being a GOAT, and the fact that that's such a big thing for him, it's a big part of the game. Obviously, it can decide a game. If it wasn't just for the overtime deal, you know what I mean? Just at the end of a game, if you need a 2-point play, if you need to go ahead by a certain amount of points. So I don't think it's more fun. It's safer for the players. It challenges the coaches.
Most people get the ball. I really don't see what the flaw is in the NCAA, especially since they've shortened it that you can get to the 2-point play very quickly, and you still got kind of
you give each team 2 possessions.
Yes. Now you can't do it from the 25-yard line, or maybe you can. I don't know if you got to move it back a little bit or not, just because you're field goal kickers. I'm just wondering if you.
Because your field goal kickers should be automatic from.
Sure,
it should be.
So that would be the only thing that I could think of that But if maybe it doesn't matter, even if they can make it, the other team's still going to get a chance to get the ball, score a touchdown to win if they're the second person, and If not, if the other team kicked a field goal, okay, then that's fine.
And then you still get your 2-point conversion even in the first overtime. If they kick a field goal and you want to go for 2 and win the game and go home, you can.
That's right. That's right. So I don't know why that's frowned upon, or maybe it's not frowned upon, but why it hadn't been taken serious consideration. Just do that. It makes more sense to me.
Well, we're about 8 minutes over, and
right.
I got 2 questions for you. One of them came from the audience, so let me get this one in. What advice would you give Jalen Armour-Davis as he departs early for the draft? If any.
Me to answer that?
Yes, you.
Take care of his body. That was his issues at Bama. Not being able to stay on the field until recently. When he was kind of forced into a more prominent role because he was one of the older guys at that point. But when I was there with him, I think I was there at least 3 years with him. I was there 4, but I think it was 3 for him. Being there, but he was always hurt, and I'm talking about pregame tear ACL and pregame warm-ups. You know what I mean?
Wow.
And some Coach Saban used to always say, he would say the same thing that I'm saying. But I've heard him say it before, and because it's the facts of the matter. And now that I'm even saying this, I hate that I'm even saying it out loud, for somebody to hear, like NFL people. You know what I'm saying? But that because he has the ability, he's long, he's smart. Got good feet for his length, But if it was one thing that I could think of that held him back a little bit in school, was his, him being prone to injury. So that's why I say what I said. Just take care of his body. You're pro now.
All right. So the other thing, definitely off topic. This is my. I guess this is probably going to be a running question that I'm going to start asking guests. And it's a 2-parter. Since you live in Tampa, 1, have you ever been to Tampa Pizza Company?
Okay. No.
Dang. All right. Well, then the other one, then the second part of that question is, in your opinion, what is the best pizza place in Tampa?
West Shore Pizza.
West Shore Pizza. All right.
Yes.
West Shore Pizza.
Yeah. It's the closest thing to like a New York style pizza.
All right.
He said it fast too. He must be frequent there.
I eat that twice. Yeah, no question about it.
Well, what kind of pizza do you get? Are you just old meat lovers, or because you're running 4 miles, you eating veggies and mushrooms and all that kind of stuff.
Fundamentals, just simple old pepperonis and cheese pizza. I don't need nothing extra. But the pizza again, and that's why West Shore is my favorite, because I've been preaching about this whole time. Ain't no meat lovers that make them popular. It's the size of the slice that you get, and it's a real big slice. It's a little thinner and crunchy, but not in a bad way. You know what I mean? And I don't know where to get their dough from that they make the pizza with, but it just tastes different. But again, it's the fundamentals. It ain't nothing flashy. You just do the little things good.
All right, I can't hate on that. And then so then last one, if you have a favorite pizza place in Tuscaloosa, what is it?
Mellow Mushroom, probably. That's the only place I've ever eaten at.
Okay.
I don't even know if it's still there.
That one was a little more of a joke because I saw a poll that said that the best pizza in Tuscaloosa was Chuck E. Cheese.
No.
And I asked Jalen Armour-Davis, and he agreed. So I'm just trying to find the real scoop on where is actually the best place to get pizza in Tuscaloosa, because apparently the poll says Chuck E. Cheese.
I can see that. I can recall a little bit. My daughter had a birthday party at Chuck E. Cheese in Tuscaloosa. Pizza wasn't the first thing to come to mind, but I'm not gonna hate on it.
Godfather's Pizza used to be the best in Tuscaloosa back in the day. Back in the day, yeah, way back. There you go, mellow mushrooms. Okay,
hey, mellow mushroom is pretty good. We one of my teammates' dads used to own a mellow mushroom. I've never been there, but I heard it's pretty good.
It sounds like something's hidden in that. When I see mellow mushroom,
right?
That has a little
yeah, it
No
does.
question about it.
Yeah,
I never thought about that.
Yeah, that means something a little different. I don't know, but oh no. Well, we do appreciate it, my brother. We know we kept you a little bit long. We do appreciate you coming spending some time with us, man. We know we enjoyed it. It's been great having you on, brother. Next week, we're gonna have on.
No, not next week.
Oh, sorry, 2 weeks. March 9th. March 9th, we will have Wimp Sanderson on with us. Come talk a little bit of basketball. JT, I didn't tell you this, but 2 weeks after that, March 23rd, another defensive back. Funny is going to be coming on with us. His name is Brock Marion. Played with me at the Dallas Cowboys, and also we switched places over at the Miami Dolphins for a little bit, and he's going to come in and talk about a little about defensive back play again, National Football League, and we'll dive into a little bit more stuff in the National Football League. Ooh. And what he's doing up in, I think he's in Idaho. Somewhere out there. Crazy. Yeah. He bought some kind of blueberry farm or something. I don't know.
We got it. Okay. See, well, if nothing else, viewers, show up to hear about this blueberry farm because I'm intrigued.
And I hope I'm saying that right. I know it was some kind of fruit that he had, I think, and it could have been grapes. I don't know what it was, but it was something different that you don't really hear about NFL players jumping into. So he'll probably say he was the original number 31, which he was because he wore number 31 before I did. And people always ask, why did you wear that number 30? That's because Brock Marion had on number 31 before I did. And then I took it over after he left. So y'all make sure y'all stay tuned to this. We won't be back on live for another 2 weeks, but make sure y'all pay attention to what's going on at Teague's Take on YouTube. Hit us up on Twitter or IG, Teague's Take there, or at Teague Football on both Twitter and IG as well. It's been a great show. We really, really do appreciate this. Thank you for all your likes. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. Download this, send it to others, and we'll see you back here in a couple weeks.